preparation for our IOU checklist, the thing that we need to consider is the 3 T's. The first of these T's is talk, and this is where we want to come and talk to our real estate agent, the person that's representing the house. Here we have James today from Phillip Webb. How are you doing, James?
Very well, yourself?
Great. Thank you for giving us your time today. What would you say would be the top 3 questions that a potential property buyer should be asking a real estate agent as they come towards a purchase?
Look, I think the most important one is, have they had any previous offers on the property? Also, a good one to ask is, when was the property last sold and what did it sell for, if it's not a brand new home? And then finally, what else have you got similar to this on the market at the moment? And has there been a lot of interest on that property? That's going to give you a really good idea of exactly what's going on in the area and what the home's stacking up against.
Okay, that was excellent information. Thank you very much for that, James. Let's move straight on now to our second T, time. As far as from an agent's perspective, what would you say would be the best time for a property investor to come and inspect a property?
Look, in terms of the campaign, I think it's always a good idea to get there fairly early on. So try and, as soon as you see the property come up on the internet, or if the agent contacts you, be fairly diligent in getting down to the property. In terms of assessing the property and what the surroundings are like, so what the traffic conditions are like, what the neighbours are like, I think dusk is always when homes are fairly honest. Maybe if it's a family area, during when school drop-off and pick-up would be occurring, is probably a good idea. Also, if you inspect the property around dusk, generally between 4:30 and 5:30, the light will hit the home and may show up perhaps some imperfections, or it'll certainly make the home a lot more honest.
Right. So potentially, if you're really serious about a property, you could be visiting the property multiple times.
That generally, a buyer will visit a home at least 2 times, generally between 2 and 4 times is how many people will look at it.
Great. And I just want to ask another question. As far as our IOU checklist is concerned, we're advocating that someone doing a check would take 30 minutes. How is an agent going to feel about a potential buyer being at a property for 30 minutes?
Look, generally if it's through an open home, then the property is open for 30 minutes, but most agents will expect at least 20 to 30 minutes for a standard inspection, depending on the size of the home and the land obviously, but you'll generally allow about a 30-minute block for a buyer inspection one-on-one.
So it works for the agent?
Definitely.
Fantastic. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excellent. On to the third T in the 3 T's in the preparation for our due diligence, the technique. Here we have Adam today. G'day, Adam.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Good. Thanks for giving us your time today. I want to talk today to you about the technique involved with the IOU checklist. Now, the whole product is about going into depth with how to go through each room and the various parts of the house.
Yep.
But what I want to do to talk to you is about some of the specifics of the checklist. For instance, the IOU, the inside, the outside and the underside, has equal portions of time for each part, 10 minutes, 10 minutes and 10 minutes.
Absolutely.
Why is it so important to have 10, 10, 10 like that? Well,
from a percentage point of view, you've really got to be able to spend 10 minutes in each of those vital areas. The underside of your house is where all your structural and all your services and your functional parts of your house are, and you've really got to spend at least that percentage of time underneath the house viewing the gear underneath there.
So it's really interesting because I noticed with the inside of the house, there's a large number of things to check off, but with the underside, for instance, there was only
more specific.
Yes,
more specific.
So
things.
They're as important as each other.
Yeah, there's a lot to be able to have to check off on the inside, but it actually repeats itself in each room, except for your wet areas.
Yep.
You know, when you walk into your bedrooms, your dining rooms, your lounge rooms, you're always looking for the same key things.
Yes.
So they're repeating themselves a lot. As soon as you move into your wet areas, there's a few other things you've got to look outside for.
So what I'm picking up here is that as you repeat, and you talk about repeating, it's something that comes with practice. It's something that needs to be practiced. Could a person just pick up an IOU checklist without all this background knowledge and actually go through and self-assess a house?
Oh, they probably could, but they'd be really limiting themselves as to how accurately they could assess the house. There's a lot more involved with even how you even walk into a room. you know, my advice is that you walk into a room and walk straight to the other side, and then actually walk back out of the room.
Yes.
When you're in someone else's house, you can feel intimidated in the areas that you're in, especially in bedrooms. If you just take yourself straight into the room to the other side and then work your way back out, you'll make sure you'll finish your checklist correctly. And also, be confident about what's in your checklist, because real estate agents can guide you to the good areas of a house as opposed to the bad areas of a house. And ultimately, we want to cover every aspect and every area of this house.
Thanks again, Adam. You can see that technique is so important to the whole process. It's not just about getting the IOU checklist and ticking off the boxes. You need to absorb and know all of the information in this product so that you can practice and apply the technique properly. It's practice, practice, practice. The 3 T's, talk, time and technique, are your foundation to making this product a success for you. Thanks again, Adam.
Good on you, mate.
No worries.
Okay guys, we're going to check out our first house using the IOU checklist. We're about 2 minutes away, Adam. I'll throw it over to you, mate. What are we looking for in heading to an inspection?
Okay, we're looking for obviously pros and cons for any job site. You sort of see on the left that we've close to a railway station, which that can be a handy thing. We're obviously close to some shops. There's a Safeway and a Coles and milk bars and that sort of stuff that are in close proximity, or I'd say walking distance to the address. We're going to check out the sort of streetscape, so we're going to look for how busy the overhead power lines are, how wide the streets are, have they got, is it close to a bus route. We're going through what I'd say like a light commercial area at the moment. It's all within 2 minutes. That can be either a pro or a con, just stuff to bear in mind. Also, it looks as though there's been a fair bit of development around here, so if you're looking at this address for potential to develop, honestly believe that there wouldn't be too many problems with being able to get some sort of subdivision done in this area. It's a pretty major sort of road, but the actual street address is not a major road, it's just off. There's a subdivision that's just been done here within probably 100 metres of the address.
Adam, are we actually meeting an agent here, are we? Or?
Yeah, I've organised to meet James from Phillip Webb here. So
great.
And look, the street actually is starting off as asphalt, but it's actually turning into a dirt road, which I wasn't told about. So that's interesting. The actual houses around here as well, they're all sort of probably the 1950s, 60s sort of vintage, but neat enough sort of area. All those sort of things are significant. G'day, James.
Hey, how are you? James Philip, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, mate. This is my brother Luke.
James
Nice to meet you, mate. Nice.
Yeah, mate, thanks for coming and opening up for us.
Yeah, mate, do you know how old the house is at all?
The house is a 1950s weatherboard.
Right.
Yeah, I think about 51, 52.
Okay, good. Do you know how big the land size is?
Land size 860 square metres.
Okay, great.
Hey, you know it's a pretty old looking house. Are you aware of any of the services that have been upgraded at all? Or?
I know they replaced the gas hot water in 2004, and there was a little bit of work done to the electrical, but I'll have to check that with you in terms of rewiring and so on.
No problem.
In regards to subdivision in the area, look, the house is sitting pretty much forward on the block here.
Yeah.
It's obviously a big backyard here. Any dramas or any problems in regards to subdivision?
Look, obviously subject to council approval, but
Yep.
there's a precedent in the area. There's a home down the street that has been subdivided, so definitely it's an option, but subject to council approval, of course.
Great.
Oh, mate.
All right.
Well, mate,
Have a wander through.
we're going to be half an hour tops, mate.
No problem. Any questions as you go through, just let me know. But have a wander.
Thanks very much, mate.
Cheers.